So yeah, I decided to leave the beach. I looked maybe like I left around 6:30, maybe like 6:37. I looked up the beach north. Nobody was out. Almost all the way to the not almost all the way to the rides. I didn't see anybody. It was getting cold. It was getting windy. I looked all the way south. There was like nobody out, and I said, "That's it. I'm just gonna go home. There's nobody, And prayers to anybody that wants to test the ocean now. You know what I'm saying? It's all up to them. Hey, this is a real thing, and if you want to test the water, and not pay attention to what I'm saying or other people, yeah, things could get really ugly. And so even as I was leaving, I told a police officer, I'm like, I'll just be up. I was actually up at the sawmill charging my phone, and I told him, yeah, just let me know if something's going down. Just let me know. I could go. I'll go run down. It's a bad day. It's bad out there, but I don't see anybody. I'm not going to sit and watch the water if there's nobody down near the water, or even wanting to go on the beach. So I'm like, I'm not going to sit there. Like when it's crowded, yeah, so, but I'm like, I'll be up here charging my phone, and if anything goes down, just let me know. So I was charging my phone, and just like I made my video before explaining, I see all the rescue, as I'm charging my phone, I see all the rescue personnel flying down through Seaside Heights. And I was praying, I'm like, oh, let this kind of be on the, I knew what the ocean was doing, so I was like, let this be on the bay side of, let this incident be on the bay side, because I know the currents were ripping out there. There was just nobody out there, so I'm like, I'm not going to sit there and watch nobody, you know what I'm saying, and then wait for somebody to get into trouble. I'm not just going to sit down. I want to, I had to do my workout so I can do this kind of stuff, these kind of rescues. I'm like, I want to get my workout in to keep me in shape so I can do these kind of rescues. I don't want to sit down in here and watch the water when nobody's going in, because the weather was getting a little bit like kind of messy. Like I'm like, probably nobody. Hopefully nobody's gonna go out. So yeah. So going back, I saw all the rescue squads flying through. I'm like, oh, and even on the bay side, you're like, oh, maybe there was a jet ski collision, or maybe there was like a boat that was sinking, because they were flying down with Zodiacs, those motorized boats, the jet skis, everything. So I'm like, oh, this is bad. Whatever's going on is bad. So, and even after I watched that a few times, I went up not all the way down to the beach where I usually sit, but I went kind of up to the top of this little lookout area, to look north where I can see maybe like 200 yards, and maybe like south where I can maybe see the whole coastline. Basically didn't see nothing, so I'm like, oh, okay, well, maybe whatever's going on is maybe too far for me to help. So I walk back up, charge my phone, I go do my workout, and then I actually, throughout the night, I was monitoring the news to see what happened. They have local news and everything like that reporting, and unfortunately, someone passed away, and so yeah, there was a 5-person rescue, and unfortunately, one of them didn't make it. And what bothers me is that, it was like if I decided to stay down on the beach, I might have been able to catch this rescue. Like I might have been able to save this person. Like, because right where it was, like I saw video clips, right where that rescue happened is probably right where I can't really, like if I was down on the beach, that probably would be an area where 50-50 I would catch it, because it was maybe like a quarter mile up from where I sit on the beach, which is about, I might be able to make out and run and see that something's going bad. If it's that far, it was almost like at that range where I might have been able to catch those people getting sucked out, because I was looking up that way all afternoon. I'm like, man, those rips are bad, but nobody's nobody looks like they're going that far out, so that's a good thing. Like earlier before everything happened, and everybody started to clear the water, and I'm like, all right, hopefully that's it. Nobody's gonna try. So yeah, it hurts to see that and be like, man, somebody's day today is, the family, everybody, that whoever this person was, family members, friends are going to have a rough day. And I was like, even, this morning, it's just crazy to be like, dude, like maybe I could have got this guy, if I decide to stay down. And, but it also illustrates the real threat, that what I'm saying isn't some kind of publicity stunt like my video before. This is real stuff that happens here, and there's real consequences to not listening to people. Like I said, the other 4 people survived, but all it takes is that one swimmer that just can't keep up. They're not going to save him. They're going to be too concerned about trying to keep their own heads afloat. That's just nature, right? Like the people that were being rescued out there with them, they're all, once you get into a situation, basically everybody's on their own, and that's the bad part about that. Nobody usually in those situations becomes the master swimmer to get the weakest swimmer that's not going to make it, So if I was there, those other 4 people probably would have survived, and I would have been able to get that one person who couldn't keep up, and yeah, like, but I mean, honestly, the rescues that I did, for Seaside Heights area, the toll is up to 1 so far that I know of, where I would say if I wasn't participating in these after hours rescues, I would say maybe between, you could see up to about 4 to 8, the toll, if I wasn't doing what I was doing out there. So, yeah, that's just the seriousness of what I do. And if you want to put me down and say that I deserve to be in a truck or whatever, it's like, well, I know where my place is in the world, and I know what I trained for very hard for. I know what I tried to promote, regardless of what everybody else tried. A lot of the stuff that everybody tries to, shove into my life, I have a real purpose here, and that's just what I try to say, and like I said, I feel bad, I feel like, it's one of those things where even in my little zone, like, it's like, I feel like if I was down there maybe a little bit longer, maybe I could have done something, but that's just life. And that's why I try to put out the warning, so I don't have to deal with news like this and have those kind of feelings. So, all right, I'm out. So I just got my fresh haircut. So yeah, I'm doing a video also on the incident that I had yesterday. This wasn't any. It could have been the same result. Thankfully, it wasn't, because there were 2 small kids involved. The area where I was watching before I decided to leave the beach, there was 2 small kids getting sucked out in the rip current. I was watching them. Luckily, their mom was able to get them out of the water. And the sad part is that I think their parent, the mom who went and saved her kids, knew who I was. I was just overseeing everything, seeing if I should go try and save them or not. But they looked like they had everything under control. And like I said, this isn't a publicity stunt. This is just more like awareness. And then unfortunately after that, I looked up and down the beach. And the area where the drowning occurred, according to news sources, local news sources that I'm seeing, is in an area where I might have been able to catch it, and that's just, I'm just following up on what happened before on my end and what I was watching. But yeah, before I left, I made sure that all the waters were clear as far as I can see, and maybe that area where that incident happened was just possible. I think I might have caught it. That's why I'm a little bit still like, damn it, maybe I should have stayed a little longer, but that's just the way it is.